Hello, hello, hello. Hello, guys. Let's. Woohoo! That was shattering, wasn't it? Oh my goodness. Happy Sunday. What a crazy week. What a crazy week. Hope you guys are well, safe. Whew. We have. Hello, Andrea, Norma Jean, and Loretta, and Dee, and Mona, and Beverly, and Ann Burling. Hello, Ann Burling. And Ann McGow, and Sharon, Leticia. Let me just start by saying it's kind of hard to come and, do something and be upbeat and excited, because I'm so excited to share with you guys today this live. But it's also hard because so many of my friends and family are dealing with the aftermath of Helene. We lucked out. I will just say we got very lucky because the eye of the storm, we were on the direct path of that. And I know they don't always say that the eye is what you watch out for. It's all the other things. Yeah, it was a scary, crazy weather week. And it looks like my friends down south in the Gulf are going to get it again this weekend. So I just hope and pray that everybody that was affected, that you are safe, well, have had minimal damage. And if you've had any kind of art damage, you know that this art community will be here for you. Someone just walked by my fence. Sorry. We'll be here for you, and do not hesitate to reach out. But just, it's sad. Sad, sad, sad. Yes, seeing the pictures and everything. I was born in North Carolina. I love North Carolina. It's such a beautiful state. And right there in, mid to East Texas and North Carolina, looks like they took the brunt. Oh, Nanette, I know, right? Because this new one looks like it's coming for you guys. So just crazy, crazy weather. But saying that, let me just say, let's have a good time. I'm going to chit chat with you about some of my favorite Crackle mediums, my favorite ways to use them. And I know that all of you guys are thinking and sharing your positive thoughts, prayers, etc. And don't forget, when it comes to donating to charities, donate to those that are legit. Red Cross. One that I support here on my channel when I do my lives is it just left me. Oh my goodness. It seriously just left me. I Can See Kitchen. Anyway, fantastic chef that goes around and supports all the places that are in dire need of food. World Central Kitchen. Hello. And I used to have a little thing right down there at the bottom, but I memorized it so much that I put it away. Anyway, the World Central Kitchen, and not only are they overseas and helping people, they are here in the States, and they have teams of people that are helping. So again, any stars you give, any dollars you give on YouTube, all that goes to the World Central Kitchen. And at the end of this year, I'm going to match that. So we will be able to donate and give quite a bit of money. So thank you, thank you, thank you to all that have contributed. So anyway, oh my goodness. Yes. Hello, Elizabeth. So wasn't here with you guys last Sunday because I was in Macedon, New York. Let me tell you, when I got there, the weather was spectacular. When I left, not so much. It rained like crazy. Funny story, because I know my friend Terry won't mind me sharing, but she had just gotten new windshield wipers, and we're on our way to the airport and just chit-chatting about stuff and art and the community and all the things we've done. Thank you, Pam. Me too. And all of a sudden, one of her brand new windshield wipers just flew right off. Now, it couldn't be my windshield wiper. It had to be her windshield wiper. on the driver's side. So needless to say, thankfully, she got it fixed. There was a place right by the airport. I would have been worried because she had another 2-hour drive to get home. So, never been to New York, Loretta? Well, I had never been before. I went and taught with Dawn, which is the decorative artist of Western Nassau. And before the pandemic, I went every single year and I painted with them. And then I went over to Queens and got to do videos and stuff and hang out with my Dynasty peeps. And then also I brought 2 of my sons up consecutive years. And then the last year I went, I flew my husband up because he had never been to New York. So we had a fantastic time. So I love New York. Love, love, love. Thank you so much, Robin. Yes, I'm very grateful and thankful that all we had were limbs down and some bark off my crepe myrtle trees. Well, all the bark. And then we did not have internet. It came back on late yesterday afternoon, from Thursday to late yesterday afternoon. But we still had phone service, cell service, which is more than I can say for many of my friends and family, because the McTier farm took some damage, sadly, but very grateful. So, and thankful. And again, just praying and keeping everybody in my thoughts and prayers that we're in that path and the path of the one that's coming. So anyway, I'm looking a little washed out with all these lights on. Oh, yeah, it was crazy. But you know, we, when I met my husband, I was in Okinawa, Japan with my parents, and because my dad was stationed there, met my husband, and we have been through many typhoons. And while hurricanes are scary, I've never been like on the brunt of a hurricane, say in Florida, you know, like Cedar Key, where it came through. But in Okinawa, Japan, I've been through some typhoons and they were scary. But all the wives would get together because our husbands would have to take the planes off the island. So we would have typhoon parties. And we would sew, we would make Chinese food. My friend Keiko would come over and teach us how to do sushi. And we kind of hunkered down together and had typhoon parties. But you know, we were in base housing, and when you're over there in places that are ready for a hurricane or a typhoon, my house in Georgia is not hurricane proof. So, oh, thank you, Robin. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that, guys. Alrighty, so let's kind of get started because I have some things I want to share. When I do things like these, it gets my brain into overdrive. So let me just say, for the past week, knowing what I was going to share with you, my brain was constantly in a mode of I have to do this, and I want to show them this, and I want to show them that. So I have a lot of examples to show, but I also want to show how to brush out the product and the after result with things that I prepped yesterday so that they could dry, okay? Because the one thing with Crackle Medium is you can't rush it. You have to have a little patience. And I know that a lot of us, we don't have a lot of patience for that, right? We want to do it right now. We want to get that heat tool out. We want to go on to the next thing. And I did purposefully do, where's it at? I even wrote it on the back, force dried with heat tool, because I wanted to see the results. So there are many times that a label will tell you something. And I like to push the limits, test the limits. I did a couple other things that I'm holding back because I think there's some potential there for maybe something else. And I'm going to share that with my peeps and friends at DecoArt. So anyway, hello, Dawn. Anyway, thank you, Karen. Hello, Patty. Again, so good to see you guys on. Make sure that you like, comment, share. That's how you get entered into the giveaway drawings. I like to call them Happy Mail drawings. Hello, Cindy Jansen. And so let me go ahead and announce our winners for last week. So as you know, next weekend, next Sunday, I have a live, and I'm doing this piece right here. It has a little holder, a little stand. Actually, there's two of these that you glue together just so it's a little more stable. And then I enlarged the size a little. Now I know that some of you bought this for me at, was it the Expo? I don't know if I had it at the Expo in Chattanooga, but I know that I had it at OKC. And I've also sent it out as Happy Mail giveaway. But this one I love because it uses, let me just kind of zoom in real quick. I don't know if you can see that, but it uses the jelly drop. Oh yeah, right there in the middle. You see my mouth moving. I use the jelly drops. Okay, so I went ahead and enlarged it. This was like a 3 by something, and I went and enlarged it to a 5 by something. So last week, not last week because I was gone, the week before, I did 3 Happy Mail giveaways. And so this is basically what it comes with. Let me just kind of hold this up. So it is a 5-inch something. I'm going to move my angel wing out of your way. And it's kind of slatted to look like, what is that? Shiplap or pallet board. It comes with all those pieces and then 2 little holders that you glue together. So I'm going to show you today how to crackle those because the background that I had, where did my original go? Right here, is crackled. So hopefully you can see that. So see that background? I'm going to show you how to do that today so that next weekend when I come on and show you how to do the ornament, the evergreen, the bow, everything, you'll be prepped and ready if you want to paint it with me. All right. Now, I have 3 Happy Mail giveaways. And I just saw Elizabeth. I know. I was so near you guys in Niagara. I actually had planned to stay because I have a friend who owns Rochester Art, Mike. I was going to stay, but I have to tell you that I'm so grateful and thankful that I did not stay because Monday was a rainy mess. So anyway, and thankfully we made it to the airport okay, or otherwise I would not be here with you today. So I'm a dingbat. I was in the wrong. Oh, Cindy Braden, you're so silly. I'm so happy you're here. Hello, Monty. Okay, so the 3 winners of Happy Mail giveaway from last live, which is this one, and the 2 stands. First one, now this is my thing, let me remind you, because I have some Happy Mail that has not been, what's the word, claimed. So with my Happy Mail, if you do not message me by the time that I've had my next live and announced before that you were a winner of Happy Mail, sadly it goes back into the stash. And I just recently had that happen and I feel bad because this was a live from June and they just watched it and saw that they won a Happy Mail and wanted to claim it. Unfortunately, I didn't have that item anymore, so I couldn't send it to her. Otherwise, I would have. No, I wouldn't have, because again, that's my rule. I have to stick to my rule. My rule is, if you do not claim your Happy Mail by the next live, unfortunately, it goes back into the stash, and I give that away, okay? So the first name that came up on the wheel, I put all the names in the wheel. Everyone through yesterday at 9:30, maybe last night, when I stopped looking at names and put everybody up on the wheel. So Debbie Pels, Shulnick, maybe. You can go to my website, hit that contact button, let me know your details, and I will get it mailed to you, okay? The other one, I have to say I was very excited to see because she has been such a great supporter of me and my page and my art, constantly comments, and her name goes on the wheel so many times, and I don't think she's ever won. So, Barbara Korfitzen? Let me know if I said that right, Barbara. But I hope that between now and next Sunday, you claim this because you have been such a faithful follower and commenter, and I greatly appreciate you. And then the last name, new one for me, Connie Giesland. So again, ladies, go to my website, let me know, which is sandymcteerdesigns.com. Let me know your mailing address and your details, and I will get those shipped out to you, okay? So, but I look forward to painting that piece with you guys next weekend. I'm going to move these out of the way so I do not forget. All right. Barbara, did you just say you just logged on 1 minute ago? Barbara Court-Fitzen. Let me know if I said your last name right, but you won Happy Mail, finally. It's almost like I want to say like Judy Thacker, you finally won. You didn't win this time, Judy, sorry, but she always comments and is supportive and shares like so many of you guys are. The wheel just has a mind of its own, and it stopped on Barbara, and I was very happy to see that. So anyway. All right, let me know that you're viewing, let me know that you're here, and let me remind you that I'm Sandy McTeer. This is Sundays in the Studio with Sandy. I wish I could do these every Sunday, believe me. I love connecting with you guys and being here and getting my brain into overdrive on things like what we're going to share and show today. So again, thank you for being here. Like, comment, share. When you share, people that maybe are in your feed that love art will see it and come follow. So I appreciate that. Lost track of time. Hello, Chris Avola. No worries. Hello, Jerry Cook. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. I cannot wait to come back to your area. I am coming to Texas. I'm coming to Sherman, Texas next, I think April. Actually, we are all winners because we learned so much from you from your chats and your demos. Thank you, Virginia. That means a lot. Thank you. You know, one thing that you guys can rest assured, thank you, Pat. She just sprinkled, which is like, comment, share. If you're on YouTube, maybe hit that little thumbs up button. And if you have not subscribed, oh, Terry, they're on their way. I got all orders out, thankfully, before we lost internet. So I was able to get everything shipped out and gone. I just couldn't send invoices for shipping. Anyway, so hello, Joyce. What was I going to say just a minute ago? I completely forgot. Oh, one thing, rest assured, guys, I'm never going to share with you anything that I don't use or that I don't like. Okay? It does me no good, and it does you no good. So I'm not going to pitch something to you that doesn't work. Now, when it comes to Crackle kind of has a mind of its own, right? So what was the other thing that I was going to share and show? Oh, Happy Mail for this live, because I already shared who won Happy Mail from this one. Okay, so in a few weeks, maybe it's going to be the beginning, kind of November, because my middle son is getting married, and I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to be able to have October lives. However, I do know that we will be here next Sunday, okay? So when you like, comment, share, you're going to be entered into giveaways for Happy Mail. And the next Happy Mail giveaways, I have 3 of them. It's going to be this along with some other things, because this is going to be an upcoming live here on my channel, which is this dimensional ornament. I most likely will show you how to paint it though on this one. Okay, which was our Happy Mail from the last, not this live, but the last live. Anyway, that was Happy Mail. Okay, so I enlarged it almost like a shelf sitter, but all you have to do, like, comment, share. 3 lucky winners are going to get this ornament size truck, because I'm going to show and share that in an upcoming live. All right. So I love the truck too. Where are you going to be in Sherman and when? So Barbara, I have it on my website. Ooh, I just dropped that. I have it on my website. If you go to Sandy McTeer Designs and then look under seminars and conventions, I have the dates listed there and the contact number, but I don't have the project pieces because we're working on those. So, exactly, Cindy. I was going to say that. Can you say that fast? 5 times. Anyway. Mom is on, but she's having technical difficulties commenting. Oh, and losing her sound. I'm so sorry. I know there's so many issues. The thing is, we didn't lose power at all, which I'm very grateful and thankful for. But of course, the day before I went and bought a bunch of junk food, which, we're trying to get rid of right now because tomorrow's Monday. Where can you get the trucks? Oh, hello, Andrea. I adore you. You can get it on my website, sandymctierdesigns.com. And let's just see if we have that. I can't see out of my glasses unless I look at the bottom. Right there. Is that it? Yes. And then don't forget, you can use discount code capital A, capital R, capital T for an additional discount. Okay? Alrighty. But like, comment, share, and you could possibly win one by next Sunday. I know, Ronnie. That's why I'm doing it. Yes, we're going to make it fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I do love this piece. Again, I'm going to be doing this next weekend. However, I'm going to share with you today how to do the crackle. All right? All righty, guys. All right, so let me just show you a couple of new things that I have on my website. Let me just come down here because you can see I've got all the things and then some because I kind of went overboard and I don't want to bore you, but at the same time, I want you to see and show you how to use Crackle Media maybe in a way you've not thought about it. All right. Now, some new things I have on my website is, Tracy Morrow and I have a stencil line called M Squared. Let me just move this in. And here are 6 new little mini 3x3 stencils. This is our M Square stencils. So M2, this is kind of scary that I know this, but M2, M4, M14, M9, M53, and M17. Okay, so these are 3 because sometimes you just need a little mini design. And on a 6x6 stencil, you have a bigger design, right? I mean, double the size. So that is in the new M2 set 3 mini stencil set on my website. I just loaded it this afternoon. And I also loaded this set, which comes with, not that one, this is the small version. Let me find the big version. Where did I put that? I'm losing my mind because, okay, it is the bigger version of this. And for the life of me, I know I just had it. Oh, I moved it out of the way because, hello, I gave them away right down here. Okay, so this is also on my website, all right, which has the 2 platforms, the ornament that has different elements in it. Again, I took the heart out and used the jelly drops, all right, and then a little evergreen sprig. So all of that is on my website. It's on sale too, but don't forget, use that discount code ART and you'll get an additional discount. Thank you. I love the mini stencils, right? Oh, and then I think that's all the, oh, no, I got one more thing. Hello, I forgot. I shared this on my last live. I have this fun little garland. It's like 9x2. And I did a bear at the expo in Chattanooga. It was called Merry and Bright. And I wish I had done this for that piece, just to give it a dimensional element. Anyway, but you can add this to anything. You can cut it and add it to a mixed media piece, an art journal piece, an art journal cover, cards, whatever. So that is on there as well. And then I always love sharing what I've done in my membership group. So let me just back out a little bit because this month our prompts, I know 2 of them were blue and white and mushrooms. So a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, we did blue and white on a maple leaf. And we have a lesson tomorrow night, or no, tomorrow afternoon that got rescheduled because of Hurricane Helene. And we are doing mushrooms. But again, everything is blue and white. It is a fantastic lesson on floating, stenciling, and just very kind of monochromatic, using 2 colors on this one color on this one, with the exception of Payne's Gray, which is my go-to for my cast shadows. Okay. Oh, you're sweet. The light strand would be great for many, many surfaces, right? It would be so cute on the bear, Beverly. I know. I wish I had thought about that before. So I will just show you my arms. My hands have paint and stuff because I've been prepping and trying to get some things created for deadlines. But let's talk a little bit about Crackle Medium. Now, practice, floating, 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 right? I love blue and white, and I absolutely love, love, love those mushrooms. Okay, so I'm gonna pull out some of my favorites, and this just recently came up in a conversation with some fellow artists, and they weren't really on board with this one. So I'm curious to hear from you guys in the comments. Please let me know. Do you use Crackle Medium? If you do, what is your go-to Crackle Medium? Okay, it could be old school, Elmer's glue with water, or a product that you absolutely love. Marilyn Healy, you are always so very generous. Thank you so much for the stars. That is definitely going to the World Central Kitchen. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, I love their ability to reach people in such need. And me here in the middle of Georgia that would love to go and do what they do. I'm grateful, and if I can give to them in any way, shape, or form, I appreciate you guys helping me do that. So, okay. So, on occasion. Okay, I'd love to hear. Let me know. Have you used this? And if so, your thoughts. But I'm going to show you how I love to use it, okay? Now, here are my other favorites. One Step Crackle, which is amazing. And of course, you guys know that I am a DecoArt creative consultant. I work with them on product development, education, videos, things like that. But I'm also a DecoArt ambassador and helping artist. And they're very generous, and I have one of every DecoArt product in my studio, my other studio space, because I test things for them often. But they are my go-to product, okay? So, One Step, which I love. Now, I do have one bottle. I'm going to show it to you. Where is it at? Because I don't have one part of it. Oh, this is it. Okay, I have DecoArt Perfect Crackle Step 1, but I don't have Step 2. Hello. I did put, also in the description, I put a link for you guys to be able to go to decoart.com and save 20% on a one-time using that discount code. Okay? Okay, so I have part 1, but there's a part 2. Well, guess what? Part 1 and part 2 go together. So we're not doing that today. I shared a lesson in my membership group on Crackle, and I believe that I shared Step 1 and Step 2 product with you guys. Okay, these are my favorites. Love, love. Okay. Crackle Paint, depending on the look you're going for, love. Crackle Paste. Now think of like modeling paste, something that's a little bit thicker that's going to give you more texture. Amazing. And then Crackle Glaze, which I'm going to show you some samples of. Haven't used it that much, but what I've used it on, I love. Okay. I'm more of a matte finish, satin to matte finish girl than I am a gloss finish, which is kind of crazy because I love bling and, glitter and glitzy, all that stuff. But when it comes to the finishes on my piece, I tend to go more satin matte than I do with a glaze or a gloss. Okay. So I've never tried Crackle Medium. Oh, and Burling. We're going to have to get that in your hands. I love Crackle. Okay. Yeah, no problem, Lynn. This is my thing. Use what you like and like what you use, you know? And if you don't like it or love it, find something else. All right, let's move these out of the way. And I did write on the back of everything so that I could remember what it was that I was showing. But what I do want to do, because I am going to do this on my next Sunday's live, is show you how I did the background on this piece. So I painted it with lamp black. And funny enough, I started to do the bottom and I thought, no, I got to do that on camera. So let me just zoom in for you. So lamp black, I painted it first. This is just MDF, okay? And then I'm going to come back in and paint it with oyster beige. Now this I painted late yesterday, probably about, I don't know, maybe about 7:30 p.m. And I let it completely dry. Remember, when it comes to Crackle, you do not want to rush it, okay? Great point. Robin just mentioned that Crackle has been temperamental for her, and it depends on the weather. It does depend on the weather. And I'm going to show you some samples, guys, in my studio for the last week on some things that I worked on. Same temperature, same day, sometimes right after each other, that reacted a little bit differently. So I know it can be frustrating. However, there are many different things that can cause a reaction, whether it's too thick, too thin. If you're too thick, sometimes it just gives you a lot of chunky texture. I love texture. When you're a little bit on the thinner side, it's going to give you, and I'm just going to hold this one up and see if we can get some of that crackle. See, you're going to get a little bit of a thinner crackle, but I didn't get any up here. So too thin here, probably the right amount there. So playing with it and getting just the feel of the product is key, okay? So black, and then I did weathered wood. Now, weathered wood gives the appearance of exactly what it says, weathered wood, okay? If I'm looking for an eggshell crackle, like I got on this butterfly wing right here, I'm not going to get it. It's going to give me that elongated, weathered, charred wood look. And I love that, okay? The key is with this product, what I have found, first off, do not overwork it. Brush it on, and I'm going to brush it on something in a minute so that you can see what I'm talking about. Brush it on, leave it to dry. Don't force dry it, okay? Second tip is you want to brush it on in the direction that you want that wood crackle to go. If I did this piece up and down, my wood crackle would go up and down, all right? But since I know that I want it to go side to side, my brush strokes go side to side, all right? So let's get a brush. I'm going to get a big one. This is my favorite go-to, as you can tell. I should call this one my fugly brush, like Tracy calls the encaustic hers. But I base coat, I do, and then I do have one that is a varnish brush that I leave separate and only use it for varnishing. But this one is loved, abused, and has been going strong. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get it wet and dry it off really, really well. Run it up through your fingers. That's a great way to test if you've got too much moisture in that brush. All right. Oh my goodness, Linda Safranco, I'm so sorry to hear that. Keeping you guys in my prayers. Okay. Your hubby's watching NASCAR. My husband's watching NASCAR, or he was when I left. Okay. So I'm going to take my oyster beige, and I'm going to really generously load that brush. Okay, and then I'm going to brush it on, And then I want you guys to see, let me zoom in. You don't want to overwork it, and you don't want to go too slow when it comes to putting it on. If I go over areas, I run the risk of it lifting, okay? So, but hopefully you can start to see that chemical reaction. And I have been working on this project the last couple of years with the lab, DecoArts lab and product people. Can you guys see that? Love, love, love. I love that immediate reaction. And I used to do many things and like glass painting. And when it tells you to let it rest for a certain period of time, chemically, they do that for a reason. The lab does that for a reason. I'm impatient. I want it dry. I want to move on to the next thing. But there are many reasons why things have to dry. And that's for things that are in the paint, fumes, that stuff just kind of has to release over time. Okay, can you guys see this? I mean, seriously, does it not look like weathered wood? Okay, now I did not do the platform piece in the bigger size, but I will do that before next Sunday's live. Okay, now once you get this point, I want the paint on top to dry. The medium underneath, which again is weathered wood, it is going to give you something different than your traditional crackle. But again, does that not look like weathered wood? And if you've not tried that, they have a 2 ounce and an 8 ounce. So you could always, I think Michael's, maybe Hobby Lobby, not sure, carry. I'm almost positive Michael's does. But again, you can go on decoart.com. I don't carry it. I'm going to lift this up just because my plexiglass underneath will buckle. But I want to let this dry. Everything underneath is dry. All right? Like 100%, 1000% because it dried overnight. But I want to show you how to then get it to that point. Because you can paint over it once it's completely dry. The medium underneath has done its job. I did this one the other day, just playing around. Okay, now I want you to notice, look how thick the cracks are compared to where the majority of the cracks are on this one. Okay, so it was thicker, but I'm also going to tell you a thing that I did that caused that. I took my brush when I started to feel like it was grabbing that brush, and I brushed it one more time, which brought all that medium over and made that crack a little bit deeper. Okay, so now that is 100% dry. I'm going to take some asphaltum. Hello, Kathy Pruitt. Good to see you on. Okay, so I just have it's like a 3/4 flat brush. It's wet. I have some asphaltum. And then I'm going to just do a wash, which means I have more water than than paint. I don't want to throw that word medium out because I don't want you brushing on some weathered wood medium. But I'm going to brush that on. And look how pretty that is. Now, I do want to do one thing to show you that you can always antique things. So one of my favorite antiquing mediums, or things to antique with, I should say, is actually the media line. I antiqued a whole set of furniture for my son's dorm room. After doing it with chalk paint, I came back and I antiqued it with that raw umber, and it looked like, you know, expensive furniture from the Bombay company. That's how well that paint works. But there are stain mediums, gel mediums. DecoArts Media Line has some antiquing mediums, but Vintage Effects work great. If you've not heard of them, Vintage Effects are awesome for doing kind of that weathered beechwood, barnwood effect, okay? Now, I'm going to leave this to dry. When we come back next week, I'm going to show you how to age the corners, just because I want those to be a little bit richer and deeper. But notice there's like a 2-inch difference because I went a little bit bigger with it, okay? So for next week's live, I'm going to have this done and the base, and we'll go from there. Let me move that out of the way. Sorry, Lucy. Well, Alabama deserved the one they got yesterday, let me just say. I would much rather see a really good game of going back and forth than just a total washout, unless it's your team that, that you love. Okay. All righty. So let's see. Hello, Cheryl. I just forgot, but I'm going to, at the end, guys, I'm going to do a little segment on my upcoming painting experiences. Completely forgot, even though I had them right there. And if you missed last week's live, not last week, 2 weeks live ago, I did my Hello Fox. So you can go back and watch that on my YouTube channel. I seriously, when I saw your name, Cheryl, everything kicked in. Okay. Let's look at real quick this one, and I marked it. So, this one is the paste. Okay, so this is the Crackle paste. So I just showed you weathered wood, and I'll show you that again in a minute. But this is the Crackle paste, and what I did was I brushed it on. I'm so sorry. This is the Crackle paste on this one. This is the Crackle paint on that one. Okay, you get very similar looks. I have notes over here, so I had to look. On this one, I just did some Crackle paste on there for you so that you can see all those little cracks, okay? Now, let's go over that with a little bit of color. So I'm just going to pull out maybe a little bit of Laguna, maybe a little bit of Margarita. And the thing with the paint and the paste is you can mix these up to 10% with fluid acrylics, okay? So if I wanted to mix this with the paste, I could, or I could mix it with the paint and paint or, stencil with a palette knife with that, which I'm going to show you today, or wait to do what I'm going to show you right now, which is after it has completely dried, you can come back in with your brush. My brain's getting ahead of my tongue. Is to come in and paint over it. So I just have a 1/2-inch angle brush. And what that does, I have a little bit of water in my brush. The difference between the two, because I know I'm going to get that answer because I wondered as well, they both kind of react similarly. However, the paint has a thinner viscosity, meaning that it's just a thinner product. The paste has what you would expect from like a modeling paste, okay? So let me just kind of hold that up and let me show you how that's kind of taking to the paint, all right? I could even just do a wash of that blue over and let it kind of get down into all those little cracks and little nooks and crannies. And then you can always come back with a paper towel and wipe it off. Thank you, Chris. I love the fox. He's just too cute. I have all 3 versions here in my studio, but let me just brush this back for you. So what it's gonna do, and this is just again on MDF, is it's gonna go down into all those little cracks, okay, and give you that eggshell crackle look. So the media paint and paste, not that one, react very similarly. However, With the paste, you can get some deeper grooves and texture, okay? So let me show you that and what I'm talking about. So this one has the paste, that has the paint. Okay, so this one has the crackle paste. See how deep those grooves are? Again, it is thicker, so you can brush it on or you can use it with a stencil. This one is the crackle paint, so notice it's a little bit on the thinner side. But let's just get out some orange and see what kind of look we get. You know, I, again, might be surprised with you guys if it is a fail, because sometimes, like I said, Crackle Medium has a mind of its own. But I've been very, very fortunate with all of these products that I'm sharing with you today, especially that weathered wood. Okay. So, and this one might take a little bit of time for that reaction. However, let me look in a second, see if I force dried that one. I did not. We're going to put that to the side. Oh, there's some right there. Starting to get that little crackle look. See, as it dries. You know, it's just that sizing thing. It kind of seizes up and it's going to give you a little bit. Oh, yeah, more down there. Okay, we're going to move that out of the way because I do want to come back with the paste and show you one of my favorite ways to use it. And that's through a stencil. Okay, so this is just on a piece of MDF, and this was Crackle paste over. I had used Oyster Beige. Okay. And then when it was completely dry, what are the bumps on the bottom half of the pumpkin first? Oh, great question, Chris Avola. Good eye. Okay, so what she's asking about, do you see these? So after I painted it, I dried it with my heat tool, and it bubbled some of the medium that was down, some of that crackle paste that was down. And again, just gave it great texture. So I didn't hold it there for long. And obviously I held it there for too long because it started to bubble. But then loving texture, I thought I would leave it because that's my number one rule in creating and painting is if you like it, leave it. If you don't, figure out a way to fix it. Okay. And there are a lot of resources to do that. Okay. This one, I put a stencil down and used the DecoArt Media paste. Do you see the dimension on that? And you get all that fun crackle. So I did that on something. Let me find my piece. I seriously have stuff laying everywhere, so I want to make sure I find my piece. Oh, hello, right there. Okay. So this again has the DecoArt Media Crackle paste over it through a stencil. I used one of mine and Tracy Morrow's, I think it's M277 knit stencil. And it was on raw wood, raw MDF. So I'm just going to take some orange and let's use a stencil brush. This is dry. I'm just going to use some of that orange that I had out. Wipe some of it off. And let's just stencil over that. And then I might use another stencil brush and use some of that margarita that I had out. And it looks like my comments over on YouTube have stopped. So you guys, let me know if you're still there. Just getting here, a little outdoor adventure. Hello, Brenda Owen. Okay, so I have margarita and I'm just gonna stencil some of that on. What I want you to see is that you can use these, the paste through a stencil. You can, when it's completely dry, stencil over it, paint washes over it, and get a really cool effect. Okay, so that's margarita. I'm going to grab another stencil brush. Let's get a smaller one, Sandy. Oh, I don't have a smaller one here. I gave all my brushes a bath the other day. Okay, let's do a little bit of that raw umber I was telling you about. Okay, this is the media line. And we're going to pick up a little bit of that raw umber. And we're just going to put a little bit here and there, but not everywhere. Right, Dixie Brown? That's my go-to saying, okay? So you can stencil over it, you can paint over it, but look at all that fun crackle. And this was just on plain MDF. All right? So, hello, Caroline. Valentine down under, how are you going, my friend? Let me find an angle brush. I should say, how's it going? Funny enough, I just said that at a seminar that I was teaching in New York, and then I caught myself. I'm like, did I just say how you going? Because we don't say that here. Okay, so angle brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the raw umber. And again, you can do your little decorative touches, your little floating and shading and things that we do in decorative painting, and come back right over that crackle. I keep going to that asphaltum. But I love that raw umber. To me, is kind of like right up there with the Payne's Gray in that line. It is my go-to, okay? So we'll just put a little bit of, all right. So how pretty is that? Now, because my go-to fall colors, I'm just gonna show you some of my favorite colors that I pulled when I was looking for my fall palette. That or that, I will say. That or that. Okay. And then Laguna, but I would say that's another one that's right up there. Oh, let's get on camera. So you can see the names, and I'll zoom out a little bit. Okay. I love plantation pine too. I'm not talking about like my shading colors and things like that, but this is just a great fall color palette, isn't it? Oh, love. Okay, throw in a little bit of honey brown. And then this one might surprise you. A little bit of Prussian blue, or even a little bit of strawberry. I know, I just whispered that like it's a secret. But let me show you on that leaf. I'm gonna get a little bit of strawberry and a little bit of Prussian blue. I've got all these other projects sitting here going like, hello, hello, what about us? But let me get these. Okay, a little Prussian blue, which is a little bit more of a winter color. But when you incorporate that with some of those fall tones, oh, just so pretty, right? Okay, and then a little bit of pink. I know, might seem an odd choice. However, this one that I did underneath the glaze, the media glaze, crackle glaze, you can see those hints of pink here and there. Okay, you can use red as well. I mean, red is a great fall color, but I love the way that the pink just works with all those colors that I just shared and showed. Okay. So, love, love, love. Even on your pumpkins. Hello. You might not think about using pink for fall. It is one of my go-to colors. I love it. That strawberry is really pretty. And that strawberry and the, what was the other one? Fuchsia Pop that they came out with last year are transparent and really pretty to add touches like that. Okay. Can you guys tell my brain is in massive overdrive? All right, let me grab a stencil. Get my stencil binder here. I do have these on my website, 6x6 stencil binder. I have 4 of them. Can you tell? I have a lot of stencils. Tracy Morrow and I have, I think, 80 just in our line. Okay, so we're going to use the paste, a palette knife, and a surface. So let me just use, let's see, did I grab a surface? I have one right here. so that I can show you how easy it is to put on. Now, you can tape your stencil down. I don't, but I am going to hold it in place. All right. And then one of my favorite is cheap, but it's an old Deco Art Americana palette knives, and these are my go-to. Thank goodness I have probably about 20 of them. Okay, so look how thick this is, and I will show you the comparison of the Crackle paint, okay, just so you can see the difference. This is like your typical kind of impasto, very thick, medium, and I'm going to just pick up a little, just put some back in the jar, and I'm just going to brush it right over. So like that leaf I just shared with you and putting those fall colors on and stenciling over it, this is exactly what I did. I laid that stencil down, and you hear that scraping. I'm picking up a little excess. However, you could always just do that and give it a little bit more texture on top. I'm just going to do the top half. Put the excess back in the jar. Do yourself a favor. Wipe the lid of the jar. You do not want to glue it shut, okay? But look how crisp and clean and pretty that is, right? Okay, same thing that I did on that mitten. And then it was completely dry. I painted a wash of Prussian blue over it, and that was it. Okay, but it gives you just amazing texture to your pieces. So again, that is the Crackle paste. Cleanup instructions. You want, first off, it's soap water cleanup, non-toxic, not going to hurt me having it on my hands. However, I don't want to keep it on my tools or my hands. So baby wipe. Wiping that away, and I'm just looking at my stack of things here to show you. We might be here till 10, but I doubt it. So I probably have to leave some of them out. Again, I'll give that a bath later. You want to get all that medium off, or it will take away, especially if you've got a really intricate, detailed stencil. Okay, now let's go back to the weathered wood. Let me find right here. I did half yesterday. And this sled that I think I bought at Target because of Lori Speltz. She did a project, I think, last year. So this, and I wrote on there, this one is the Crackle paint. Okay. And this is the Crackle paste. And so let me just show you the difference. The Crackle paint, you get that eggshell, right? The Crackle paste, because it's thicker, you're going to get that eggshell, but you're going to get even more crackle. All right. I didn't mix it with anything. As you can see, I just painted it right on top of that sled that was painted black. And then that top, the middle section, this is not going to stay. Let's just get something there to make it stay, because I want you to be able to see it. Okay. And then this one is weathered wood. Okay, so you can see the difference. That's going to give you the same look as I shared with you on the wood piece that we did. Again, it looks like wood. It doesn't have the intricate eggshell crackle. That's not the intended purpose of that product. So, but I love it, okay, especially if you're doing something like this. All right, so let's just go over it with some colors so that you can see it react, see what it does on all three of them. And anytime you use, where did that cool stencil come from? I have it on my website. Brenda, it is sandymcteardesigns.com, as you know. Okay, so this one is the paint. I'm just going to pick up a color. Now, I'm over black. So let me remind you guys, the black showing through the cracks here on the weathered wood. It's showing through on the paste and on the paint, all right? So I'm gonna pick up probably some oyster beige and just take my brush. It has water in it. You probably saw right there. Oop, now I got a little orange in it. That's okay. And I'm gonna brush it right over that weathered wood. Now this I did 2 days ago, and this is what I want you to see, is you're still gonna get that reaction. Okay, now I don't wanna keep working it. When you keep working that weathered wood, you'll start to feel it drag. And it's just a little bit less effective, makes the cracks sometimes a little bit bigger, which can help. Now what I haven't done is the paint. I haven't waited a couple days to do it. I've just waited that day till it was dry and then gone over it. So it'll be interesting to see if I get any kind of reaction to that. Remember, you can wipe it back on all of them. Like if you wanted to just take a little bit of that paint color off. Even on that one I could do. Okay, so let's hold this up. So this was the paint, and I applied that one actually with a palette knife, as you can see. So all those cracks are starting to come up. Now I could come back in with an antiquing medium, quinacridone gold, some raw umber, and really bring those cracks out. Loving how fine and thin these are. Again, I did this one, I think yesterday, and it had dried to the touch. I mean, I could touch it, it was dry. This one was 2 days old. So look at the crackle on that one. Okay, meaning I put it on 2 days ago, let it completely dry, put paint on it just now. But this is probably one of my favorites. That crackle paste. And then you could come back and wash that with colors and get it right down into that, into all those little grooves. You can layer and continue to add that crackle paste on top and get additional crackle and chunks and really, really cool effects with that. So again, just the paste, the weathered wood, and the paint, just to show you how differently they react depending on what it is you're going for. Okay, let's move that out of the way. I have this one over here that I force dried. I'm anxious to try that one. Again, weathered wood, and this is the paste through a stencil. So again, same technique I showed you on the mitten and that circle, that you can use a palette knife, put it right over a stencil, and it just has great texture to it. I mean, it's raised. It's not flush with your surface, okay? Let me show you a happy accident. I wasn't gonna show this one, but I'm gonna show it because it's not real defined. However, when I did it, I wish that you had feel-o-vision on your on your computer screen, because I used my pine cone stencil. And let me see if I can turn it to the side to see if you can see any texture. Okay. I mean, you can see that it first off is a very detailed stencil, so it didn't work that great. But there's potential here for there to be something bigger, because what it feels like to me is like etched wood. And what I used was the one-step crackle. Let me find that because I moved it out of the way. I used the one-step crackle, and let me show you how I used it. I used it a little bit differently than, let me find something to put it on because I don't have anything here. All right, let's just do that. The one-step crackle, you put it on something that is already painted. This isn't painted, obviously, so I'm just gonna go over it. But let me show you what I did for this piece. Okay, which is right here. I laid a stencil down. I think this one actually was base coated with oyster beige first, but I put, DecoArt has these sponge daubers that fit right on top of a 2-ounce bottle. And again, I'm going to continue to play with this one because that's just where my brain goes when I get products and am playing around, then, oh, I wonder if you can do this. I wonder if you can do that. And you might ask yourself that. I love to stop what I'm doing. Maybe it's that self-diagnosed ADHD. I want to stop what I'm doing and see if it's going to work. Okay, now I just squeezed that right into that sponge, so it's got a lot of product. But I just pounced it right over, let it completely dry. And let me just hold that up so it shows you, you kind of get that texture. Now, it didn't give a crackle as much as what it gave was almost like the feel of engraved wood. So cool. Again, I'm going to keep playing with that idea and fine tune some things. Again, you want to wash that off, and you can always take that off and replace it with the lid. Okay, wash these out. They work really great if you take care of them. And I'll put that in for a bath later. Okay, this little guy had crackle glaze. So do you see that little eggshell crackle on top? Love, love, love. I'm kind of in this blue and white mode because this month my prompts for my membership group, as I showed you, are blue and white. Let me find the other cup I have that has the same base coat. I used oyster beige. And let me just kind of turn this to see if you, oh yeah. So like where I shaded with some quinacridone gold, you can already see a little bit of crackling, right? But what I want to do with the one-step crackle, you put it over your painted piece, and you can just leave it, or you can antique it, okay? I'm going to go ahead and antique mine with a little bit of raw umber, and I'm just going to do that. And I can take a baby wipe or my finger and push it. I wanted to do the, well, where's a little bit of, let's do a little quinacridone gold too. Hello, that's enough for ever. A new clean baby wipe. Okay, we'll get some of that off. Okay, this is another way I like to do it, just to make sure it kind of gets pushed into those grooves. Okay, so let me just hold this up because again, unless you see it up close. So this is a very tiny little crackle. Okay, again, I'm very, very curious if you guys have used crackle medium. And if you do you still use it? And what is one of your favorite ways to use it? All right, because there's going to be a bonus Happy Mail giveaway. All right, it's going to be for one of each of these. I didn't want to tell you that up front. I wanted you to stick around. And you won't know about this unless you like, comment, share. But I have one of each of these that's going to go to one person, Happy Mail, with one of my things that I have done showing on the live today. Okay, so mixed media. That crackle medium is perfect for incorporating into your backgrounds. All right, this one is Crackle Paint, and I applied it with a palette knife over a painted piece, and then I reapplied it once that was dry to create additional crackle. Again, just think of an amazing background, and you want that texture, but subtle texture. Great, great, great use for that paint, okay? This one I also did as a background, and this, oh, I didn't write that down, but I know it's the paste. So, but look at the layers with that palette knife. It's almost like a snake skin or a dragon type skin, right? But again, I could see totally putting some big flower on here that's like pink or blue, and just a great subtle. So I did it in layers. I think you could probably see the background. I did it with the paste and let it dry. I did that with a brush. And then I came back with a palette knife and I laid it on top, and then I used Prussian blue and saffron yellow. Okay, so that's where that green's coming from. But again, fantastic background, right? Okay, this is one of my favorites too. So base coated it with Laguna, let it completely dry, and then I used the one-step crackle over this. And then once the one-step crackle dried, I came back over it with the raw umber. Okay, so do you see how all those little cracks, and notice this, how on the edge it's going to be a little bit different, because sometimes when you're pulling that brush, you know, you get it a little bit thinner right there. But again, just look at that fantastic texture on that piece. Okay, well, let me see what else I have to show you. Okay, so this one, again, that is the Crackle paste, and this one is the Crackle glaze. And let me go over that with a little bit of, let's do some white. You want something contrasting. I'm just gonna put a little bit of white and see if we can get that to show. Oh yeah, right there. Okay, so this is the Crackle glaze, and I did this probably 3 days ago. And yet the product made it crackle, and that extra little step is going to make it stand out. Okay, so again, trying to find the right crackle that fits the project of what you're trying to do. Do you want that weathered wood look? I mean, it is a wood crackle look. Do you want the eggshell look? Do you want those really fine lines like you get with the one step? Or a little bit bigger with the glaze, and see that glaze is still there. I just put white Americana acrylic over that, and you're still gonna get that glazed look. The paste is gonna give you thicker, deeper cracks, and again, you can paint washes over that. This was another Crackle paste one. And just, again, look at that right through a stencil, let it completely dry, and then did a wash over it. This is on chipboard. This is with the Crackle paint. I painted it orange. I came back with the Crackle paint, and let's just kind of turn it so that you can see. This one's a little more subtle, but you can see some cracks in here. And then I took a brush, and I actually painted with it. So all the, oops, butterfly flew away. All those little strokes I did with the brush with that Crackle paint. Okay, so again, you get a soft, subtle little crackle, but then come back and do a wash over it, and you can really bring those up if you want to. I know I'm gonna forget something, so let me just look around my, oh, I did the force dried one, and then this one. So this one has Crackle paint and one step, okay? So on this one, I painted it all with, I'm gonna say bluegrass. It was an old color that I just grabbed, kind of get that bluey green look. And then this one has the one-step crackle over it. So let me just kind of slightly turn that, see if you can see any of those little cracks right there, okay? And then this one has the Crackle paint, and I just used a brush and brushed it over. Now I know how to use it. Oh, wonderful. Okay, so let's just get a 3/4 flat, and I'm gonna get out some, let's just do some margarita. I think that'll be pretty over that. And on this one, I think I'm gonna use some white, just because I want it to show up a little, maybe some white and margarita mixed. All right, now let's just zoom in just a little bit, and hopefully you see this reaction as it happens. Again, just a 3/4 flat, and I've got some margarita. I'm just gonna go right over those. And actually, I'm gonna do an extra step on this side. Okay, so you can see those little crackles in there, right? I can continue to paint. And then I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of white on that same brush, and then I'm just gonna go right over. And this one, I'm actually gonna wipe off. Ooh, nice little, Oh, fine, nice little eggshell crackle there, right? Okay, and then let's just take a paper towel. And on this side, I want to wipe it back. So this is called wiping back. If you've ever heard that term and like, what? Got a little bit too much paint there, so I'm just going to take my brush with a little water on it, kind of revive it. And then we will just wipe that back. But look at that pretty bluey green crackle on that side, okay? Now this side, I'm absolutely loving that area right there. I'm gonna take my paper towel and just kind of wipe that as well. But I'm gonna come in with some, I could use plantation pine, but I have this right here. So some fluid acrylic, sap green. I'm just gonna take that baby wipe, kind of wad it up, pick up a little bit of that sap green. Put that on there. Again, you can continue to come on here and, you know, float some shading and some highlights. But what's not going to go away is that crackle, that really pretty look right there. Again, totally different look, right? Digging this with that eggshell fine crackle, but again, that chunky texture on that side. So fun, fun, fun. As you can tell. Okay, you guys drop any comments, questions. I forgot how neat this is. Right, Sandy Anthony? I think most people do. My mind doesn't think about using it. Oh, well, Pam, I hope so. I've tried the weathered wood and the crackle medium, preferred the weathered wood. I wasn't successful with the crackle medium. Yes, 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 yes. I love hearing that. That's great to hear. Okay, so I did this piece with crackle paste and I force dried it. So again, because the bottle says, or well, something I've known with mediums, if you force dry them, sometimes it can alter the way that they are made up. Okay, so I heard somewhere that you should not force dry crackle medium at all. I did this one. Let's see if it works. Now where I'm going to get that crackle is I have a little bit in the background that I brushed on the crackle paste, the crackle paint, and then the crackle paste I put on through a stencil. So let's see if we get anything. That'd be interesting to see. So again, 3/4 flat, got a little water in my brush. I have a not Payne's Gray, Prussian blue. And let's just see what we get. Okay. If you are curious about anything, I have to just challenge you guys. If you're curious if that's going to work or not, just give it a go. That is a way that you can learn and figure things out. Or you can just come to my channel and my crazy brain's going to think of it. Or you can pose the question. And then maybe my brain will go into overdrive and I will do it as a live, right? Okay, so let's just kind of keep that there. I am going to take my paper towel, leave it for just a minute, and then wipe it back. But I'm not seeing anything on the paste that shows any kind of a crackle. Okay, it's pretty, but to be honest with you, I probably would use modeling paste, okay, if that's the look I'm going for. But just know that if you don't have modeling paste and you want to get that look, you can use that crackle paste and force dry it. The only cracking I'm seeing is in the back where I did the paint, with the exception of up here, which might have a little bit of both mixed. But the design over that stencil, I'm not seeing any cracking on. Okay, again, force dried it. Just wanted to test and see. Again, pretty. I would use that for that look. Alrighty. Research and development. Hello, Donna Baker. I've only used weathered wood once, and also the crackle one step. Yes, I've heard that too, about not heat drying the crackle. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so let me just show you again some of the ones that we've done while we've been on screen, and how you can see that crackle on that cup a little bit better with that raw umber in there, right? Which one was this? Oh, this was the paint. Okay, so this was the, I didn't do anything with this one. This was the Crackle paint that I brushed on. So let's, again, just take some of those stencil brushes we had from earlier. They're still sitting here, and let's just see what we get, and if we see any cracks in it. This was brushed out very thin. Let's see if I remember what colors I used. That margarita and that orange. That margarita is so pretty. It's got a really high yellow content to it. Remember that strawberry. Alrighty, getting a little crazy here. And then that asphaltum. And I'm not worried if this is pretty or not, because right now it's so not. But what I want to see is if we can see any of the, okay, so this was with the Crackle paint. And I brushed it very, very thin, and I can see just in a few places. Let's see if I get that on camera. Just in a few places where it's coming up. So again, the thicker the product, the more texture you're gonna get. This one generously with that Crackle, the more you use, the bigger the cracks. The less you use, the smaller the cracks, like you saw on that leaf that we just did, right? Because again, this one, deeper the cracks because we used more product applying it with a palette knife, smaller the cracks because we used a brush. Okay, that right there is a great example of both. Alrighty, I think that might be it. Just to remind you of some of the products that I share with you guys today. Again, absolutely love this product. You've got Crackle Paste, Crackle Paint, Crackle Glaze. You've got the one that I only have one of, which I don't even know where I put that right now. Again, I only have one of them. The two-step Crackle. Oh, right there. Okay, but you need two parts to that. All right. Using a palette knife, using stencils, using it in your mixed media pieces, using it on your random act of kindness pins, glazing things with it just to get that finished little Crackle look. And whether you leave it like that and you get fine cracks, or you antique it with either the media line, fluid acrylics, inks, you can use inks as well. Regular Americana works for antiquing, but again, my go-to are the fluid acrylics because they're transparent and highly pigmented. Using it in backgrounds and mixed media pieces and getting, I mean, this would make an amazing tag, right? If it has a hole, and you could sit there and embellish it and do some cool things with that. On your chipboard pieces, to again, just to get a little bit of texture, little bit of design. Paste through stencils, glazes. I just did through the stencil and then painted with the glaze with the brush right over that butterfly, antiqued it with white. It's probably one of my favorites. Again, base coated with Laguna, one-step Crackle right over it, and then antiqued with the media fluid acrylic raw umber. Oh, and I love that color combo. So pretty. Okay. One more. Let's see. Oh, my dragonfly wings. And all the cool textures that you get from that paste or the paint on that side. Even on the body, you can see that texture that I put on and then dry brushed over it. And then the paste through a stencil, again, to get that Crackle dimension. This one has dimension. It's not just flat. So cool. Alrighty, with the original Crackle, let's come up here and read some questions. But not sure if I used it yet. I have used the weathered wood also and like that. Wonderful. So thicker application of medium will give, yes, Loretta, great question. Yes, the thicker you apply it, the bigger the cracks. The thinner you apply it, the smaller the cracks. I will say the one thing with any of them is don't overwork it. Use a big brush. Y'all saw I used that 1-inch flat. Use a big brush for the space that you're in, because you don't want to sit there and have to drag it out, you know, like use a number 8 flat for something this big, because what's going to happen is it's going to start dragging on you and lifting and picking up. So use a brush big enough for your surface. Lay it on and leave it. If you want to have thicker cracks, lay on more product, meaning less pressure as you're brushing it out. If you want thinner cracks, do a light coat of it and then, you know, kind of push it out so that you get to go a little bit further. Thank you, Chrysofola. Okay, so again, don't forget, like, comment, share for the Happy Mail giveaways. I threw that last one in there for you guys because I looked over and I have a jar of each of those brand new sitting right here. So the Crackle Paste, the Crackle Paint, and the Glaze Medium. I will put everyone's name in that likes, comments, shares on YouTube and my Facebook between now and next Sunday morning. And I'll put all y'all's name on the wheel and see who wins all of our Happy Mail giveaways, to include those 3. All right. Now, let me talk to you real quick about some painting experiences that I have coming up. And I did not put that on my thing. So I'm just going to, I thought I loaded a picture. Okay. So I taught one of these at the Chattanooga Expo, and then the other one I taught at OKC. And with both projects, I loved painting them, designing them, painting them, and teaching them. But one thing I found, because I taught both of them in New York, again, my brain and my tongue are getting ahead of each other. I just taught both of them in New York. And they are filled to the brim with a lot of techniques, from the background to, well, the prep, the background, dry brushing, floating, shading, washes, highlights, and back again, because many times I do them in layers, and I'll start back with a wash and then go to a dry brush and then back to a wash. So let me just come right down here real quick and tell you guys, if you go to my website, you'll see both on there. So the first one is going to be this one. And again, I thought I downloaded, thank you so much, Robin and Chris. I thought I downloaded the little info so that you guys could see it, because I'm teaching this one in November. And we are going to start from scratch. So this is going to be in a private Facebook group where when you sign up for the class, you get, first off, the instant download e-packet. You can also get a printed packet and the surface if you want. And I also have a specialty brush set, because on this one, I use the 1-inch encaustic, oval encaustic to do the background. I use the Mezzaluna, the mop brush. There are many different brushes that I use for both these projects. And again, if you have them, great. But this is what I want you to think about with these experiences. And I'm calling them experiences because I'm going to be live in the Facebook group for 3 days straight. From the start, showing you how to prep, getting the background done, and then we're going to focus on leaves and how to paint those, and the strokes and the ways that I do those. How I do the sunflowers, and the shading and floating and dry brushing and washes that it's going to take to complete this piece. Then the second day we'll come back and we'll do the leaves. All right, and we've just already covered first day, after we did the background, all those techniques and things that I'm going to use on second day. The third day is going to be doing the sunflowers. Okay, we've already practiced on day 1 and probably the end of day 2 on the sunflowers and going over that. The cool thing about it, private Facebook group, you will have access to that as long as you are on Facebook.
And you can go back and watch it, stop it. So if you can't join live, you'll be able to have access to that. I just wanted something a little bit more immersive and a little bit more slowed down, instead of rushing through a 6-hour Zoom class showing you how to do everything. Okay, we're going to talk about hand lettering and that ombre effect. In addition to that, there's going to be some extra bonus things in the group that if you sign up, you will have privy to some worksheets on leaves, sunflowers, and other things. And again, lifetime access as long as it is up. So this is in November. This is in, I think, the first week of December. Again, this one has a wood element, but in the packet, it does have Merry Christmas, so you can always, I think it's in the packet. Maybe it's not. If not, I will definitely put a line drawing in the group. Again, a separate Facebook group. So this one is in November, this one is in December, 2 separate Facebook groups, whether you sign up for both, and many of you have. Thank you so much. But we're going to start with a blank surface, talk about surface prep, background, how I got those stripes and everything, which is fun and a lot of work. But we're going to break things down. The floating, the shading, the highlights, the dry brushing, the washes, all those things that create that dimension and depth. There'll be some worksheets in there for this one on pine cones and evergreen sprigs. So again, 2 incredibly, I think, awesome events, experiences coming up that I hope you will think about and do. I know it's a little bit late in the year for doing something with sunflowers in fall, or even for Christmas, doing it the first weekend in December. But again, after teaching it at the expo in OKC and then also in New York this past weekend, I really wanted to slow things down. I just saw Barbara's comment that she's a slow painter. When you teach a seminar as a teacher, there are painters of every level. And so what I love about this idea and this experience is that you guys are going to be able to slow it down. You're going to have it right there in the group. It's going to be broken down into 3 days, so that you can really focus on what it is that we're doing and how we're doing it. And sorry, something just popped up on my iPad, and how we're doing it, and then moving on to the next, instead of going, okay, I think I kind of got that, and I have to go back and scroll through this 6-hour Zoom class to see where it was. So anyway, you can find that information on my website, sandymctierdesigns.com, and don't forget, you can also use a coupon code. So if you are in my membership group, you can use your special coupon code, and on this channel, YouTube, everything, ART, all capitals, and that'll get you 10% off. Your class, surfaces, whatever. But think, if you're looking to get better at technique, whether it's floating, dry brushing, washes, layers, painting in layers the way I do, how to prep your piece to varnishing your piece. We're going to cover it all. Okay. So anyway, thank you for joining me. I'm just going to look at the comments real quick. Yes, you paint beautiful. Aw, thank you, Sandy. Can the surfaces be different? The surface can be whatever you want, Sue. Yes, in fact, where I just went in New York and taught, many had their own surface. I love that. Get your own surface. Although I just shipped 2 to Canada. It was not cheap. It was $36 to ship 2 to Canada. So anyway, all right, experiences and enough time to learn. That's the key, is to learn. Is for me to be able to slow down and show the process, and then also the technique, so that you get to a finished project and go, I understand that, and now I can do that on my next project, instead of just go, project done, let's move on. I'm probably going to be doing a lot more of those, because again, I want to break down those processes and techniques more, so that it's more beneficial for the person painting it, for you guys. But also for me, because I did something in New York I had never even thought about before, but a light bulb went off and I goes, that's why. And I'm going to share it on both those projects. So anyway, what will happen if you apply a second coat after the first one dries? So, Anne, you just get more crackle. Again, it depends on what it is that you're on. This one, like I shared, it dried.
because I brushed it on, and then I came back with a palette knife and put it on even thicker. So it depends on which one you're using. One Step Crackle, I have not put a second layer on, so I've not tried that, but if you have it, give it a go and let me know what you see. Okay. Hello, Wonderstar. Thanks for being back. Does the weathered wood or One Step Crackle work on mixed media journal pages? So, okay, I've used it on my journal pages before, and let me just say, I wish I had the page to show you. Let me just bring you back for a second. So I did Winged Victory, which I don't have my original. It's one of my first journals I did, and I did Winged Victory from the Louvre. What you call it? You probably are familiar with that statue. Anyway, no head, no arms, but beautiful wings out of marble. I've seen it in person in the Louvre. Amazing. Well, the Paris bombings had happened, and one thing I tend to do when I create art is I work in my journal when things are heavy and, you know, whatever in the world. So I pulled my journal out and I painted this Winged Victory, but I gave her a face. And I'll try and find that, and definitely posted it in the in our membership group too. But now I used modeling paste, which is a thick medium. So on the other side, I painted something, but my dear sweet friends Heather and Sandra said it kind of looks like a hippo. Well, what I didn't realize was the wings from the other side was creating some puckering on the other side of the journal page. And it did. It looked like a hippo with his mouth open. I don't even know what I had painted on that side. So this is my suggestion. If you use it on a journal page, you might want to double up your journal pages so that you tape or paste two together so that there's a little bit more thickness, if that makes sense. So I ended up painting over the hippo page. I don't even know what it is, but you can still see the texture from it, which is quite funny. So, all right, let's see. On a leaf, so realistic, right? Love the strawberry. Doesn't look too pink to me, but a fabulous fall red. Yeah, so it works with those colors really well. Great point, Cheryl. All righty. Used both on a Halloween shelf sign. Awesome. Hello, Carol Jones. All righty, guys. Okay, don't forget, like I mentioned, you bought the Christmas one. Thank you, Virginia. Okay, so don't forget, get those brushes out. Do something creative. I just am looking through the comments, see if I've missed anything. A lot of comments, and I wish I could answer them all. Oh, you're so welcome, Bonnie. We'll try to get in on the classes, but have so much going on. Well, again, they're all recorded, and it's all there, plus a lot of other information in the group, worksheets and things included. What are the dates you're teaching us? Andrea, I'm so sorry I don't have them right in front of me, but I want to say the sunflowers is November 20th to 22nd, and I think the Christmas one is the beginning of December. But again, you can go to my website right here, sandymcteerdesigns.com, and find all the information there. It's under the What's New tab, okay, along with all the fun things that I just added. So the wedding planning, the wedding's going well. So on Tuesday, my mom and I are going to look. I need to find a dress, you know, mother of the groom. I've got to find a dress. Oh, Linda, I'm so sorry to hear that. I wish I had met her when I was up there. Anywho's, okay, guys, keep those questions coming. You can always, after the thing, put them in the comments down below, but let me know. I check those often. So if you have any other questions from the video or you're watching the replay, put the questions in the comments and I will definitely give you an answer. But if you've not tried them, give them a try. The weathered wood, the Crackle One Step, the Crackle Paste, Crackle Paint, and Crackle Glaze, again, are my favorite go-tos for crackles. So thank you, Robin Richards. She said the Christmas one is December 4th through 6th. So again, and I will be live in those groups on those days painting, but then I will also be in those groups answering questions, etc. And those groups won't be going away. So it will be recorded from the live and you can watch it and catch up when you have time. Okay. All right. To everyone that has suffered just immense loss from this Hurricane Helene, I pray and hope that you guys are safe, well, and if you need anything from the art community, don't hesitate to reach out, because you know we're all here with you in our thoughts and prayers. And yeah, so get those brushes out if you can, get that paint out if you can, get that crackle medium out if you can. Do something creative, have fun. If nothing else, just get out a surface and base coat it and get those creative juices flowing, okay? Thanks, guys, so much for being here. I'm going to leave you with a little bit of art inspiration, and just appreciate you guys. Don't forget, sandymcteardesigns.com. Have a great week.